Hello, I have been asked by so many people to take the two talks that I gave on forgiveness and to put them in a format that you could watch again, that you could share with other people. And so here is the very first installment of forgiveness, part one. I have been learning so much about forgiveness as I have prepared these talks. And I'm so excited to be able to share some of those things with you because I know that I have grown so much in this process, and hopefully, I can share some information with you that will help you grow and make your life better too. So, let's jump in. Okay, so in learning about forgiveness, I've learned a few things. Forgiveness, we probably all know, but it's hard. It's challenging. It will cause you to think on deep levels about things that oftentimes you don't want to think about. It is an action. Forgiveness is definitely an action, and it is worth it above all. It is a gift that you give yourself first. I believe that, and then you can pass it along to all the people in your life and teach others around you. So it kind of is a gift that keeps on giving, if you ask me. So I'm just going to start off with the definition of forgiveness that I'll be using for these videos, just so that we're all on the same page. So forgiveness is the intentional and voluntary process by which a victim undergoes a change in feelings and attitude regarding an offense, lets go of negative emotions such as vengefulness, with an increased ability to wish the offender well. So this is a tall order. There's a lot in here, and I'm hoping to unpack it a little bit and to help it make some sense to you, and hopefully also to help it be relevant to your life. So as I was studying about forgiveness, one of the things that I thought it was important to look at was what science had to say about forgiveness. What were the benefits of forgiveness to our physical bodies? Then here's what I learned. All right, there was a large Johns Hopkins University study that was done, so very reputable group. And here's what forgiveness offers your body. A lower risk of heart attack. It improves your cholesterol and your sleep. It can reduce actually pain in your body, can take pain away from your body. It reduces your blood pressure and anxiety. I guess no surprise there. It reduces stress and depression. So there's a lot of reasons right there alone to think really seriously about working on forgiveness in your own life. There is obviously an enormous physical burden to being hurt and disappointed. So let's try to work through some of the hurts and disappointments that you've had in your life so that you can experience some really great health benefits as well as some peace for your soul. So one of the things that I thought was really interesting is that forgiveness can be something that you grow in. So you don't necessarily have to be good at it today in order to be good at it tomorrow or the next day. So it's a lot like a muscle in your body. So the more that you do it, the more that you use it, the stronger you get at it, and the quicker you can actually go through the motions of being forgiving. So that's exciting. Forgiving is a verb. It's an action, and it will actually take you doing physical things to get your heart into a place where you can actually forgive. It is a conscious decision that you make, just like that definition talked about. It's voluntary. It's something that you do, that nobody is making you do. And the more that you do it, the easier and quicker it becomes. So as you start to work through this process of forgiving, I use this analogy of being like a cup. So whatever it is that you're full of, that's what comes out to the people around you. So if you're full of joy, if you have excess joy, joy is what you share with other people. If you have excess anger, anger is what comes out of you as well. Now, in this process of forgiveness, the more that you're able to release some of these feelings of bitterness, these painful experiences that you've been having, the more you can release bitterness and vengefulness and all of those things, the greater capacity you have to move into empathy and to feel compassion and to even get yourself back to joy, where you can empathize with that person and actually even wish them well. So I have a few tips and things that you can try out in your own life to help get you there. So the first thing that you need to remember is that it's okay to reflect on what happened. Give yourself space to go back, think about what happened, think about how you were feeling, how you reacted, and particularly pay attention to how you have felt since. So really honor whatever it was that you were going through at the time, and maybe that you're even still going through today. So that's the first thing, is honor yourself with remembering and with giving yourself grace to go back and look around the situation that you experienced as a painful one. And hopefully you can look back at it over a period of time and realize that maybe you feel a lot better about it. Empathy is something that is extremely powerful, and I have found this to be one of the things that has made the most difference for me as I've been working through some areas of forgiveness in my own life. So trying to think about that person in a way that causes you to feel empathy can be challenging, especially if they've hurt you, right? And probably the hurt that you're thinking about right now is probably fairly big. Try and remember something about this person that you used to love or that you still love. You know, usually the people that hurt us the most are the ones that are the closest to us, are the ones that we've sort of let into that special place in our heart. So if you stop and subtract the hurt, try and remember the person and something about them that you loved. You can also try and think of a situation that they may have been going through that would have caused them to act in the way that they did. So this is not excusing their actions, but it is a way to think, well, maybe they had this thing going on in their life that caused them to act in this particular way. And if we're being honest, most of the times when we have hurt somebody, it's because we're hurting about something. There is a saying that says, hurting people hurt people. And I think it's very true. And I know that it has been definitely true in my own life. When there's something else that I'm going through, I can tend to lash out to people around me, often the ones that, again, I love the most, right? The ones that are closest to me. Let go of expectations. That's the next thing, is really not to expect anything. Because when you don't expect something, anything you get, you are really grateful for. You will probably not get the exact apology that you're looking for. And if you do get an apology, it may not be what you had even hoped. So the less expectation that you have on the other person, the better. Instead, try and look at it through the lens of that forgiveness is a gift you're giving yourself. It's all of these things that can improve your body, can improve your state of mind, can reduce your anxiety, can give you more sleep, right? These are all great things that are for you. Forgiveness is for you first. And so if you're able to look at forgiving somebody through the lens of it first being a gift for you, that might help you to decrease your expectations on that person. And that really helps to avoid disappointment, because expectations that are unmet come out in the form of disappointment in our life. The next thing I want to talk about is deciding to forgive. This is actually really important. I talked before about how forgiveness was an action. So it is something that you need to actually physically decide that you want to do, and then think about ways in which you can do something that sort of shows that. So some ideas are, you can write a letter. Perhaps you never even send it. Sometimes that's just really cathartic. Getting whatever it is off your chest onto a piece of paper can sometimes be all you need. Then you crumple it up and you throw it away, or you burn it or something. But try that. That's an action, right? That's doing something. So try writing a letter. Maybe you even do want to send it. That's perfectly all right as well. You could put something down in a journal. That's one of the things that I do, is I spend a lot of time journaling about my thoughts and my feelings. You could tell one person that you love and trust that you are going to forgive something. And even telling that person, again, is an action. It's solidifying your decision to do so. Give them the flexibility to come back to you and check up on you and to see how you're doing. Give them permission to do that. Say, you know what, you can check up on me on this. Or is it okay if I phone you if I'm having a hard time with this? So you can remind me that this was a decision that I made and that I need to stick to it. So having somebody to journey alongside of you is really great and can be really helpful. Just make sure that it's somebody that you really trust, somebody that you hold close in your heart. It's really easy to fall back into unforgiveness. And I think you should realistically expect that. Some days are going to be harder than others. So have somebody who can say to you, this is what you're going to do. This is what you've committed to doing. Let me help you. Let me remind you. Let's talk about the things that were good about that person. Let's get back into that cycle of being very forgiving. So having a person to do that with is so great. And this is one that I think can be the very hardest of all, but I think is also extremely important, is learn how to forgive yourself. Forgiving yourself can be the biggest challenge to all of this, because you live with you. And sometimes the things that we have done to ourselves or to other people are the biggest burdens that we carry along. It is important to remember that you are not defined by your worst moment, and either is anybody else. They shouldn't be. And it's also really great to think about the fact that everybody really is probably just trying their very best. It might not be enough for you, but they still are probably trying their best. And so give yourself the grace to remember that you were just trying your best. And sometimes we don't have all the appropriate skills and tools because we're still learning and we're still growing. And give yourself that grace. Work really hard at trying to forgive yourself for things that you have done to hurt you. Again, write them in a journal, try and empathize with you. One of the ways that you can do that is to actually think about something that you have done and pretend that it is your child who's done it. And think about the things that you would say to your child, right? Because you are the most loving person as a parent to your child, and you will give them way more grace than you will give yourself. So try think about it in those terms. What would I say to my best friend? Or what would I say to my little one if they had done this? And it's going to probably be a lot more gentle than the way that you're speaking to yourself. So I hope that these tips and tools are going to be helpful for you. And I look forward to sharing more with you about this journey of forgiveness in the next video. Until then, I hope that you have a really great day, and keep on forgiving, keep on trying. I promise it will be worth your effort in the end. It will really, truly make your life a lot better. And I can say that because I have been really living this whole thing of forgiveness for the last 2 months. And I really do feel like it has changed my life in so many ways, all of them for the better.